I won't have room. Won't even try to explain it. Why? God is about to blow your mind. Let's go. It's a Saturday morning, Saturday rising, however you want to look at it. It's POL Saturdays. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We're going to start on time and let the late bloomers jump in as they arrive. My name is Coach Gabe. I'm here to add value to your life and hope that this call empowers you. The goal of this call is not for you to say, that was a powerful call. The goal of this call is for you to be empowered and to learn and to receive and to take value with you forever. So if you have the ability to take notes, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, grab your iPhone notes or your Android notes and write some stuff down, because I believe this one is going to be full of powerful call. We're not going to jump in just yet, but I want to give you the title of the call. The title of today's call is Leaders Understand, and the topic we're going to be diving into is empathy. We're going to be looking at the word empathy, what it means, why is it important, and how does empathy relate to leadership, and if we truly have empathy or we don't. Empathy is a powerful word, and I want to do a quick recap of last week. Last week, we looked at, will they remember you? Will they remember you? What impact are you going to have? What legacy you're going to leave? How are you making people feel that come into your space? Every single person, every single family member, every single stranger that comes into your realm, do they feel your energy? Do they feel your love? Do they feel your passion? Do they feel your impact? Are they going to remember you when you're no longer here? If you missed that call and you want to take a look at it, go on YouTube, type in Coach Gabe Guardia, and you'll see all the videos that we upload when we're done with these calls every single week. And before we dive in, I want to recap also why we do these calls. There's 6 weeks left. So there's 52 weeks in 1 year, and there's 6 weeks left before we close out 2021. How are you showing up for yourself today? And if you are taking notes, you should write this down and write it down every single week that you're on this call. Leadership comes with requirement. If you want to be a great leader, you have to be willing to accept the responsibilities, the hardship, the roller coaster, the highs and the lows, the times that you want to quit, the times that you want to throw in the towel. That's what leadership is about. Leadership comes with requirements. So my question to you is, how are you going to finish the year? The way you finish the year is the way you're going to start the year. So if you finish strong, you're going to start strong. If you finish lazy, on vacation, eating a lot, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, then that's how you're going to start. Although it's going to take you 1, 2, maybe a month to get, eating ice cream every day, right? What is it for you? How, my wife just told me that from the kitchen. And so how you finish is how you're going to start. So if you want to get a jump start on 2022, start right now doing what sucks. Every single day, challenge yourself to do one thing that sucks. What is it for you? Oh, I hate doing this. Do it, because it's going to callous your mind and it's going to help you grow as an individual. For me, sometimes I don't like to work out, even though I used to love to work out. Sometimes I genuinely don't enjoy it, but I challenge myself, and I ran this morning early right before this call. 6 weeks left. The way you finish is the way you are going to begin. So finish the year strong and take it one day at a time. We do these calls because there are still followers out there. And I believe that each and every single person on earth was born with the seed of greatness and leadership inside of them. But there's a difference between the seed of leadership and the spirit of leadership. You have the seed inside of you, but you need to water that seed and allow it to grow so that the spirit of leadership breathes through your pores. Okay? And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Facts, absolutely. Before we start, gratitude is one of the things that I love to talk about. And it's a general topic. You hear a lot of people speak about gratitude, and a lot of these big celebrities and people that athletes, I heard once, what's this gentleman's name? The one that messed up, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey said that his secret to wealth was gratitude. That when he began to say, I'm thankful, and even in faith, depending on what you believe in, what religion you are or whatnot, at least for me, I always say thank you to the Father, the Creator, to Jehovah, to what I believe. I say thank you. Thank you for waking me up. And gratitude is important. So why don't you go ahead and drop in the chat one thing that you are grateful for truly today. I'm grateful that I have my wife cooking an amazing breakfast that I'm going to eat as soon as I'm done with this call. So I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful for Lena Lightning. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you that have found a little bit of value in this call and you decided to show up for yourselves again. So I'm grateful for all of you being here on this call live. Drop it in the chat what you're grateful for. And I want to dive in here to what we're going to be talking about today. And before we dive in, remember guys, the 4 pillars of leadership. Leadership, everything starts and falls with leadership. But the first thing that you need to do is have the ability and practice leading yourself first. That's number 1. Lead yourself. Have a clear vision as to where you're going. Thank yourself. Say, I'm so thankful for the person that I am now at 44 years young because I put in the work 10 years ago. So have a clear vision as to where you want to go with your life. And then you apply the mission. And the last pillar that we teach here on these calls is to lead with your gift. Because if I identify, wow, I'm really good at cooking, I'm going to teach people how to cook. Or I'm really good at getting stuff done. I have the gift of execution. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I'm going to teach people that have been struggling with executing. How can you be more efficient executing? Because that's the gift that, not me, but I'm just giving you an example. Right? Or I am great at singing. So I'm going to teach people how they can get better at singing. The 4th and final pillar is lead with your gift. Because if you lead with your gift, then you can help others become great leaders in their area. Help them become great leaders in whatever they are gifted at doing. They're great at tattooing. Awesome. Let's see how you can become better at tattooing. I don't need to be a great tattooer, but I can help a tattooer become great at leadership. I'm grateful for our new bed. Congratulations. There ain't nothing like a great bed. Grateful for my cousin. She's helping me with a wellness plan. That's fantastic. Leading ourselves is that's a big part of leading ourselves. So, all right, guys, you ready? Drop a 3 in the chat if you're ready for today's call. Leaders understand. What does that mean, guys? I want to start because I know a lot of you know that I like to write, and writing is a big part of my life. I'm writing a book. I write poems. I write what God speaks to me every single day. And so I'm a big lover of writing because I feel that you can express yourself through your writing. And my high school football coach, Coach Fernandez, actually gave us a poem that I want to share with you guys here in the beginning of this call, because it's a beautiful, beautiful poem. So if you're paying attention, listen to how it goes. It's called Mountains to Climb by Billy Burden. And it goes like this. Some days I get tired of fighting it all. The more I seem to try, some days I get tired of fight. Some days I get tired of fighting it all. The more I seem to try, the more I fall. Hold on. The more I seem to try, the more. Sorry, guys. Who got a little scared that I messed up the poem? Drop a 3 in the chat if you were feeling a little worried about me because I messed up the poem. Drop a 3 in the chat if you're like, come on, coach, you got this one. Don't mess up. I feel for you. You got it, coach. Come on, man, push through. Drop a 3 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're honest and you're like, yes, Coach Gay finally messed up. He usually does everything so great, but I'm glad he messed up once. Drop a 1 in the chat. I was like, he's good. He needs that breakfast now. So if you felt sorry for me, or you're like, oh my God, he messed up, he really screwed this one up, you have empathy. You have empathy. You have empathy. I know the poem by heart. I have it tattooed on my back. All right. That was an example, because if you felt like, oh my God, he screwed up, and you felt bad for me, you have empathy. You're an empathetic person. And siempre haces trampa. Dímelo, papá. God bless you, my brother. I love you. And so Nubia said you did. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is empathy. So my question to you is, why do you think that great leaders are empathetic? Why? And before you answer that question, I want to give you the definition of the word empathy. It's a noun, and it is the ability to understand and to share the feelings of another person. I'll say it again. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. So if you saw that I messed up, you were sharing that feeling with me. You're like, oh my God, he messed up. I'm worried about him. You were sharing, you were connecting with me. You were like, let's go, coach, you got this. You can figure this one out. So my question to you is, why do you think that a great leader needs to have empathy? It is a critical component of leadership, is empathy. Why do you think so? I'll hear from you. If you're here on Zoom, you can unmute yourself and share.
Well, I know I kind of tied it back to communication. So with communication, I need to understand what you're going through. Or in order for my business to be successful, I need to understand what my team is feeling. In order to be successful, I have to demonstrate that I'm here for my team, right? If I'm a leader and I'm taking this title position that I'm leading, this going to be empathetic. I care about my people. At the end of the day, I work for you guys. You don't work for me.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you. You work for them. They don't work for you. And if you are able to really focus in on that, it's gonna allow you to increase in your life in many different areas, not just financially. Is there anyone else that what do you think makes this such a critical component? And to be honest with you, I haven't heard a lot of people speak about empathy. You hear people talk about motivation and inspiration, and I have a morning routine and a daily routine, but what about understanding where people are at? The definition says you understand and you share feelings with that person. It means you can relate to where they are. Even though you might have never experienced that, I'll give you an example. I meet a 22-year-old young man that's in college football, and I'm coaching him. I'm dealing with him. I'm working on him. And he tells me that he was raped by his dad when he was 11. I never experienced that. I was never raped, but I can connect and I can say, man, I understand. That never happened to me, but I can understand and I can feel your pain. And you can look somebody in the eyes and relate to where they are in that moment. That's empathy in that moment. And if you don't have empathy, I'm a little bit concerned about you. I'm a little bit worried about where you're at, and we need to work on having empathy for people. And so the question is, how can I share the feelings of another person? Well, they need to know, like me and Mehdi were speaking yesterday, the day before, that you're genuine. Because they're going to feel if you're not genuine. They're going to know if you have a hidden motive. They're going to know if you are just kind of, you're like, all right, hurry up with the story so we can get to the contract, or you can sign the agreement, or we can get to the sale, or whatever it is. People are going to perceive that from you. So empathy is about you being genuine. Have you guys ever met somebody before in your life when you met them and you're like, wow, I just connected with that person, man, like that person just understands me. They just get me. I don't have to go too deep into explaining what I'm feeling or what I'm saying. They just get it. That person that you were talking to possesses the quality, the ability of empathy. For me, it was my high school football coach, Coach Fernandez. He was a dad to me. He understood me. He never did two things. He never judged me and he never criticized me. In leadership, your job is not to criticize or to judge. Your job is to understand and to share those feelings. Man, I understand, I'm sorry that you're going through this. How can I help you? What can I do for you? Don't do anything. Just shut up and listen to me. Okay, great. I'll listen to you. Maybe that's all they want. Great leaders understand that listening to the person is more important than what you're going to say. You've also met people, because I do this sometimes, even now and even before. Somebody's talking and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to respond with. They haven't even finished the sentence or what they're telling me, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to respond with. And it's like, Coach Gabe, shut the hell up. Just listen. Be empathetic. Don't even respond. Just nod your head and say, I understand. That's what a great leader does. Okay. So my second point is, well, before we dive into the second point, I want to tell you this. Great leaders find the balance between having empathy and at the same time challenging the individual. Because if you're in business, right? Let's say you have a coworker or you have a teammate, you're in network marketing or you're in an agent, you have somebody on your team. And they're like, man, I've just been really struggling mentally. I've been feeling depressed. That's why I haven't been joining the calls on Monday nights. That's why I haven't been, connecting with the team. You have to find a balance between understanding and being empathetic, having empathy for this person. But at the same time, a great leader is going to challenge you to snap out of it and to get out of that state. And that's a hard thing to find. It's a hard balance to be able to tell someone, I hear what you're saying. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, but we gotta find how to get you out of this state. Challenging that person to grow, challenging that person at the same time that you're being empathetic. It's not easy, but that's what a great leader is good at. Being able to tell them, I hear you, man. I understand. I'm sorry. What can I do to help you? And give them some pointers to help them no longer be stuck, because some people are stuck at their job. Some people are stuck in their mind. Some people are stuck in depression. So our job as great leaders is to help them break through from that place where they're at. Okay. So it's a balance. Second point I wanted to give you is true leaders love people. True leaders love people. They don't love people because they just want to get something out of them. True leaders genuinely just love people for who they are and where they're at. When you learn to meet people where they are at in that moment and appreciate them and have empathy for where they're at and love them and just meet them wherever they're at. Don't preach to them. Don't hit them over the head with the Bible or with the whatever you believe in. Just love them and meet them where they're at and build a relationship with them. Because guess what happens? If they know that you genuinely love them and you genuinely care about them, guess what's going to happen? Loyalty. That's what's going to come as a result. Loyalty brings royalty. What does that mean? If you are loyal to those that you love, if you are loyal to your team, if you are loyal to your wife, if you're loyal to your husband, if you're loyal to your kids, if you're loyal to your friends, loyalty brings royalty. That means that you are going to have a beautiful, long-lasting relationship with that person where you can help them and they can help you. Because we all can help another person. It doesn't matter. The player sometimes helps the coach, right? The coach usually helps the player, but sometimes the player helps the coach. So don't ever undermine the power behind that genuine relationship of love and you loving that person. When you learn to love them, they'll go the extra mile for you. You won't have to ask them. They'll do it willingly in business and out of business. Your ability to meet people where they're at is going to determine your level of influence. Your ability to meet someone wherever they're at in life is going to determine your level of influence. And your level of influence is going to determine your level of impact. And your level of influence and impact is going to determine your level of financial success. Because if you don't have influence and you don't have impact, you're not going to make a significant amount of money where you can achieve your goals and your dreams. But if you genuinely have empathy, you love people, you impact, you influence, guess what? The money's going to come as a result of all of those great things that you've been doing over the years. And it can happen overnight because you've been doing it for so long. So in summary, guys, empathy is your ability to understand people and meet them exactly where they're at. If we cannot, people long for two things. What are they? Every single human being is looking for two things. It's not love. Community is one of them. And what's the second? Starts with the C also. Every single person that you meet is looking for two things. They want to be a part of a community. They want to feel loved. They want to be around great people. They want to be around people that challenge them. They want to be a part of a community. And the second thing that every single person wants is connection. They want to feel connected. They want to feel that you understand them and they understand you. And now you connected. You built a bond. You built a relationship. You built a sisterhood. You built a brotherhood. Every human being wants community and connection. I was going to say consistency, but that wasn't part of the call. Community and connection. And you need consistency. So put that as a little sub bullet point underneath. You need to be consistent if you want to be a great leader. And so when you have empathy, it's easy for you to connect with people. It's easy for you to invite them to be a part of a community. If you possess the ability, if you have that trait. Empathy, understand people and share the feeling. Even though you never had that experience, you can still share the feeling. Because a lot of times, guess what happens? We're like, oh no, I never experienced that. Get the hell out of here, bro. That's not me, that's you. No, even if you have never experienced what that person is going through, you can still have empathy and you can still share that feeling with that person. And they are going to know if you're being authentic or not. That person, that prospect, that family member, that friend, that neighbor, that colleague, that coworker, that person in your faith, that neighbor, whoever, that stranger is going to know if you're being authentic or not. They're going to immediately feel that you feel them. When you look them in the eyes and they're crying and you start crying, they're going to know that you connected with them and that it was authentic and real. And in that moment, a bond is created. A relationship is formed. A friendship is formed that you can now begin to nourish and water for the rest of your life. Stand by, guys. I'm going to say bye to my family on IG. I love you guys. God bless you. The joy is in the journey. All right, guys, let me pause the recording.